So welcome to our series of introductions to Quemmen's advisor board members. I'm delighted to welcome Raf Shuermans, Technical Senior Manager, Advanced Powertrain, Toyota Motor Europe. Welcome, Raf.
Thank you, Alexandra. Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here. Could you please start giving us a summary of your work experience and history in the industry?
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, my name is Raf Shuermans. I'm 56 and I am Belgian. I have graduated mechanical engineering now 34 years ago, and I've spent my whole career so far in the automotive powertrain engineering, working for car makers. So, my background is mainly transmission engineering. I've been working on all kinds of automotive transmissions, manual transmissions, planetary automatics, belt-driven, continuously variable, and obviously also hybrid transmissions. So in the last 25 years, I have been and still I'm working at Toyota Motor Europe. That is Toyota's European headquarters and also Toyota's R&D center for Europe. We are based in Belgium, near Brussels. As you said, I am a technical senior manager there in the advanced powertrain department, looking into electric traction motors.
Thank you. Having been working for so many years, could you please let us know your history with Quemmen? How many years you have attended, why you attend?
Yes, that's pretty easy, I would say, because most of those 35 years I have been in mechanical transmission engineering. And it was only a few years ago I started looking into electrification. So to be honest with you, I have visited Quemmen only once in 2019 in Berlin. And I was really impressed by the sheer size of it. It was really good to have the whole industry gathered there in one location. So it was a very effective, efficient visit. And unfortunately, then the pandemic, of course, has blocked the next years. So I'm looking forward that we will have a show exhibition again next year in 2022.
Yeah, indeed. We all are looking forward to go back to live
Yes.
events. So we are looking forward to meet you in Quemmen in May. Moving forward, I would like to ask you, what are the biggest challenges currently facing the industry? Biggest challenge and greatest opportunity. So we can combine these both questions in one.
Yes, I think the biggest challenge at this moment for the industry is to engineer and provide and produce products that meet the customer needs in a sustainable way and at the same time meet the regulatory requirements that are changing rapidly, as we all know, in terms of emissions and CO2 footprint and so on. So this is not an easy act to put together. But at the same time, when we talk about opportunities, this is, of course, a huge opportunity that the industry has at this moment. We are now being forced as an industry. We have no choice. We have to reinvent ourselves. And I think that is a really good thing so that we can offer products that are meeting those, at the first sight, contradictory requirements, maybe. But I believe that as an industry, we do have all the brain power and also the financial means to bring those products to the markets. So I think another challenge for corporations and companies is to reskill the workforce, especially in automotive powertrain. We are coming from 100 years of mechanical engineering, and we are now entering this electrification.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a huge task that we are doing now, that is reskilling our workforce to become electrical engineers, and digitalization also is also a topic, of course, of high importance. But there are certainly a lot of opportunities for the industry, and we should embrace those rather than reject them.
It's slightly related as well with the question that what with the topics that we just mentioned. I'd like to ask you what you think are the hot topics, that topics that we should look to cover in the technical agenda at Quemmen Berlin.
Well, clearly that should be linked to sustainability and LCA, life cycle assessment, somehow, because these products that we are using in electrified powertrains, such as steel and copper and magnets, they all are quite intensive on CO2 footprint, especially steel, for instance. So I think it is important to gather forces and to find solutions to have green e-steel for all these electric motors that will drive these electric cars in the future. So that is has already started, but there is much more to discover there, I think. And in that sense, the material engineering and the really fundamental basic understanding of materials and processes on how to produce those, I think, is a very crucial one in that sense.
Thank you. And what do you believe the long-term effects will be of COVID on the industry going forward?
Well, looking from our own experience, Toyota being a big company, as you know, I
Mm-hmm.
think the main long-term effect is in two areas. One is on the organizational side and the daily operation of the company. I think we have learned in a very positive way that we can work together in teams with people who are not in the same physical location. So in the past, we have always been attached almost physically to our desk in the office every morning, going there and spending 8 or 9 hours, going back home. But this has become very volatile and flexible in the pandemic time. And at the beginning, this was not everyone was convinced that this would work, but we had no choice with the lockdowns and so on. And I think quite a few people have been surprised on how well it did work. And I think this is one long-term effect. I think many companies will not go back to the old style anymore because they have now discovered the advantages of the new style. And I think a second thing is I think the industry has discovered the vulnerability we are all exposed to when we produce things on a global scale, because that involves a lot of logistics. It's amazing to see how many kilometers some components travel before they reach the end customer. There are 10,000s of kilometers, and sometimes it's a bit crazy. So I think another long-term effect of COVID will be a more resilient and more local supply chain in the areas where global companies are operating. That means basically the regions, Asia, Europe, or North America. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we will see more local productions, and that is also something I think that will be appreciated more by end customers, because they also start to question the sustainability of the current logistic worldwide model.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much. That definitely it looks one of the biggest challenge we all will have to face after COVID. So moving ahead, I would like us to ask you, and what has been your favorite project that you have worked on through your career?
Oh, that's of course a
I don't know
really
if you can pick one.
yeah, that's a difficult question because in 35 years I've done quite a number of projects. But I would like to answer this in a slightly different way. I think I cannot pinpoint one specific project from a technical viewpoint, but from my experience, the projects that gave me most satisfaction are linked on the human side. So at Toyota, we have a very strong corporate DNA that is based on teamwork and respect and diversity.
Mhm.
And I have been in quite a number of projects where these teams worked very well together. And this is all about human interaction. So at Toyota, being a global company, We have very strong corporate DNA that is about teamwork, diversity, and collaboration, also including challenges and creativity. So we have a 5C concept, and creativity and challenge and collaboration are three of those. So from my experience, most satisfactions I got out of projects where this team was working very well. And at Toyota, as I said, people are really embracing that corporate DNA and teamwork, and that's really nice. These are the projects that you remember.
Yeah, thank you so much. It looks really interesting. I would like, we are almost ending. So, how do you see the new Quemmen Advisor Board contributing to the success of Quemmen Berlin moving forward?
Well, linked to my previous point about diversity at Toyota, I think also in this new advisory board, I'm very happy to see a high degree of diversity, people coming from different areas of the industries, from different backgrounds, with different levels of experience. And I think indeed that makes up a good team that can complement each other. And I'm sure we will be able to bring the event forward by having discussions in that forum, in that advisory board.
Yeah, we are looking for it. And so, we are moving to our last question. So, finally, tell us a little bit about your outside of work and what do you do in your spare time when you have some?
All right. I'm afraid I'm not really good at really relaxing, but one thing that I do like is going through old style paper magazines mainly about vintage classic cars that still had carburetors. So you can dream away a bit about these good old times, so to say. I also have quite a nice collection of books, photo books about motorsport, so car racing in the last, let's say, 60 years or so. So that's one type of magazines that I prefer to have in paper version instead of digital screen. And another type of those magazines are about home decoration, interior design of homes and architecture. I can enjoy the beauty of certain architectures and the way how people can create a certain atmosphere by combining colors and textures and so on in a residential house, or it can be a hotel interior or anything like that. Yeah, I like browsing through such magazines and dreaming a bit about things. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds super interesting, really. Combine your both interests with houses and cars. Very interesting. It's been a
Yes.
pleasure to speak with you, Raf, and we are really looking forward to work with you and developing Quime with you and other advisor board members. And we are
Yes.
looking forward to meeting you in person in May.
Yes. Let's cross our fingers. By then, the situation should be better at least than today. So it has been my pleasure too. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Alexandra. And I look forward to meeting you in person. And thank you all for watching this. Thank you.
No, it has been a really pleasure.